Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3. Can you believe that we're already over a fourth of the way done through the class? Time is going by quickly. Hey, I want to take some time to thank you for your hard work this past week on your SMART goals, and for those of you who jumped into the discussion boards well. I thought we had a really good discussion, and I thought that your SMART goals were done really well. And I want to thank you for all of your involvement in that. I trust that you had a good time this weekend going to church, worshiping with your brothers and sisters. For some of you, being involved in preaching or teaching or whatever it is that God has you doing in your local congregation. Thank you for that service to the Lord as well. I'm excited about this week's course and just some of the fun things that we have going on. First of all, we have chapter 1 out of Allison and Garda's book, and I trust that you will have a good time with this. Just going back, again, we are attending Moody Bible Institute, and here's a chance for you to learn a little bit of the backstory of D.L. Moody and the work that went into him becoming a believer, and also some of that as it relates to Bill Allison becoming a believer. And so I hope that as you study that, it will give you a chance to stop and to think through who was involved in that process of you coming to know the Lord. And then in Wiseman, talking there about being a talent magnet and looking ahead to those that you can engage around you, that you can spot and identify what God is doing in their lives and through them. Some of you in your leadership video mentioned some of those people that God has put into your life that have noticed something in you, and that's allowed you to be the man or the woman that you are today. And so I trust that as you go through that, you will think of some of those people and think ahead. And again, that's going to be down here to the discussion board this week. We'll be looking at who you can identify here in the coming couple of weeks. I don't want this just to be pie in the sky. Well, I hope that in 25 years I'll find the next D.L. Moody. But who in the next couple of weeks can you engage with and observe them and then say, I see God doing this in your life, and I think that you could do really well in this aspect for God's kingdom. Or maybe it could be somebody at work too, and even that being positive and noticing that in somebody there can be a great step for you, maybe in opening the door to someday sharing your faith with that person. And then thinking about who God has used to impact your life in a similar way. And I really encourage you to jump into that. And this should be a really joyful discussion board, reflecting on what God has done, and then thinking through how you can be that kind of a person in the future. Your assignment for this week is to look for and find 4 kinds of podcasts, blogs, maybe a LinkedIn group or Twitter feed. I have some of all of those that are sources that I use for leadership and for online education. And the reason that I want you to do this is that I want you to think that it's not just that this leadership class gets done, you check it off of your list of what you needed to have to graduate, and then you move on. But I really want you to stop and to think through what you can do to keep on learning about leadership long after this class is over. And maybe you just identify those at this point in time, but you can also sign up in a variety of ways to get notified. So like one of the podcasts that I listen to, I have that so that it downloads all the time in my iTunes. There's a blog that I have, and I get an email every time the blogger puts something new up. For LinkedIn and Twitter, I get some emails when people put things out there that are special. And I also use another app on my phone and on my iPad that is called Flipboard, and that also pulls some of those things in for me so that I can see those in an easy format. And so find something that talks about leadership principles. And as you've seen, although Wiseman's book isn't specifically a Christian book, it has a lot of good perspectives for us as Christian leaders. And so it can be either Christian or secular. And then I want you to write a paragraph about these resources that tells why you chose that particular source, and then post it in the week 3 ongoing leadership resources section there in community posts. And again, just to remind you why I'm having you do this, as opposed to just submitting these assignments blind, I want you to post it so that others can see what you are learning and what you have found, because you may find something really super cool in this day of the internet being so full of all kinds of stuff. You might know of or be able to find something that I've never heard of before, and when you post that so that everybody can go and read that, then somebody else might say, oh, that's really closer to what I'd like to read about or see come into my inbox. And so that's why I'm having you put these things out there. There's more and more research talking about learning communities and how we learn best in a group. Sure, we all learn things when we read something or we listen to a podcast on our own, but we learn so much more when we're able to interact with that in a community, whether that's here, whether it's talking with somebody in a small group, whether it's having a best friend that you go and hang out at the coffee shop and talk about things there, or however that works out for you. But as you do that, it's that Proverbs, iron sharpening iron. And so I hope that you will find some of those sources, post them out there so that we are able to learn together. I'm looking forward to finding new sources so that I will be able to keep up on my leadership skills as well. So thanks again for all that you're doing and all that you're learning, and I trust that you will have a fantastic week. As always, if there's anything that I can do to help you out, or if there's anything that is going on in your life that you'd love for me to know about or be involved with, please let me know. I really count it an honor and a blessing to do that. I'll see you later.